what makes Ahl Sunnah is this verse in which Rasulullah is commanded to say, if you love Allah, then follow His Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In the sense of this love. As a convert to Islam, I know there are countless non-Muslims who are better people than me. They're more generous than me. They're more patient than me. They are more intelligent than me. They sacrifice more than me. Right? They're better people than me. Right? But we know as Muslims this is not sufficient. Right? That without Eman there is no acceptance of those deeds. The reality is any non-Muslim who does good, inshallah, they'll be rewarded, but in the dunya. In the akhirah there's no reward for that. So, knowing that, and knowing that that's a reality, right, I realize that it's not our deeds ultimately that are going to determine our salvation, especially people like us living today, right, where our deeds don't compare to the deeds of previous generations. The one thing that is going to determine our place in the akhirah is going to be our relationship with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, much of that has to do with what we do, no doubt, right? But it's recognizing why it is we do those things that we do, recognizing who they are for, and recognizing how it is that we came to know about them. And this is Ahl Sunnah, placing our priorities in the right order. Love for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then followed by all of this action. And this is from the Sunnah as well. And this understanding of Tawheed not being sufficient, of there being the need for love for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and respect for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, this is the maslak of Al-Hazar Imam Ahmad Khan radiyallahu ta'ala. Right. This is what distinguishes him from all other ulama of his time. He knew that there was one priority, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And that everyone else, or rather not everyone else, but those whom he had his differences with, were those who, at least on one point, were willing to sacrifice that love for Rasulullah ﷺ for the sake of something else. It might have been for something that would appear as if it was for the sake of the deen. Right? Right? The men who wrote the things that Al-Hazrat condemned were men of incredible knowledge and incredible piety. You have to recognize this. There's nothing we can do, right, to make problems worse for ourselves when it comes to being Sunnis in the West than to make the claim that Ashraf Ali Tanvi was not an alim. Because he was. He was a man with a great mind. He was a man of piety. Right? But, for the sake of an argument, he made a very serious mistake. And Al-Hazrat recognized this. And this is his difference, this is what distinguishes him from the others.
Wow.
He was never willing to place anything before love and honor and respect for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I hope all of you have read it. It's certainly available in English. Not the best translation, but if you can read Urdu, you'll have access to it. Eman, Al-Hazrat's book, Eman, in which he explains himself after years of criticism. And what's the point of that book? Is that none of our actions, none of our words, not even the little iman we have, will benefit us if we don't love and respect Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And as a convert, that's something I understand, because I know there are people whose words and actions are better than mine. I know there are Muslims who in some sense have their tawheed is going to have some strength to it. Right? But without that relationship with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there's no benefit. And this is from the Sunnah, something we have to remember as well. And from some of the things I've heard from Pir Sahib this weekend, it's something that definitely people living in this community can benefit from in two ways. As we know, there's a beautiful hadith in which a Bedouin came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam from the desert to ask him about Qiyamah. Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when is Qiyamah coming? And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam famously responded with another question. Well, what have you prepared for it? There's a beautiful lesson in this hadith, because essentially it tells us that again our priorities need to be in order. Right? It's not when Qiyamah is coming, but are we ready? One of the lessons from this is that, you know, if for example Qiyamah, as we know, is going to come on a Friday, and this is from the hadith, is going to come on a Friday. You might not make it past Thursday. Right? So for you, Thursday is going to be your Qiyamah, in the sense that that's your last chance. Right? It doesn't matter if we know when Qiyamah is coming. Our own individual deaths, that's Qiyamah. That's what we're preparing for. So this question that Rasulullah then offers to the Bedouin is a great benefit to us. Right? It doesn't really matter if you know when Qiyamah is coming. What's important is, are you ready? Because every day is an opportunity for preparation, and you don't know how many more days you have left. But the man's response is the real lesson from this hadith. He says, Ya Rasulullah, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, I haven't prepared much. I think all of us can agree we haven't prepared much. He said, I haven't prayed much. I haven't fasted much. I haven't given much zakah. What that means is he did the farz. He did the minimum. He didn't do anything beyond that. But he said, Ya Rasulullah, but I love Allah and His Rasul.
MashaAllah.